Hello my dudes, dudettes, and everything in between, and welcome back to Clive Games. We are picking up right where we left off. I just went ahead and teleported straight to Gridania, and the new shirt that I'm wearing is, I just realized right after I teleported to Gridania that I didn't equip the new chest gear that we acquired from the level 30 um, Arcanus mission. Yeah, so we had to wear that stupid dress for a little bit longer, and it just didn't register for some reason. Um, but we managed to unlock the Scholar class, Scholar job. Let me rephrase that, job. Um, so this time we're going to be starting off by unlocking the Summoner job. I haven't equipped the Scholar yet, the Scholar Soulstone, because once I do that, I'll go over all the abilities, where I place them, stuff like that. I'm not going to go into an in-depth thing, but I'm just going to kind of read them off and explain what they do so you kind of get an idea. Alrighty, but the Guildmaster told us to come here and meet this girl because there was an opportunity. You're Clive Shep, I assume? Well met, and thank you for coming. My name, as you obviously surmised, is Yamitra. I am a member of the Son of Saint Cognac. Ours is a Charlayan order that seeks the lost knowledge of the Allegan Empire. And in that regard, we have recently made a singular, important discovery to our dig site in Mordona. We salvaged from the ruins a set of ancient texts describing the existence of a set of Allegan mages known as Summoners. These were arcane practitioners said to have the ability to siphon the essence of the primals and manifest the stolen energy as a biddable ally known as an Eggy. Should we succeed in resurrecting such arts, then we might well hold in our hands the power to bring this age of conflict to an end. There is, however, as there always must be, one monumental obstacle to realizing this reality. In order to manifest these obedient incarnations of the Beastman's savage deities, one must first defeat a primal and capture its etheric essence. So we're really special as a summoner. Like, this is the reason this class just felt so tailored into the lore of the game, because it literally is like, okay, well, you are one of the only people, very few people, who have defeated these primals, which means you can siphon their ability. It was really cool. It's why I love this class. Thus, only one can boast such a daunting achievement under his belt, may even begin on the path to become a summoner. Do you understand now why I call upon you? Because of my dashing good looks. If you wish to contribute to my research, then come to me in the West Vigrant Strike in southern Thanala. There shall we conduct a ritual of summoning, the Austeries of Flame. Okay. So, oh, and that's where the main mission is. We'll get back to that later. Oh, no. Then on way down there. Alright, so I'm gonna cut it here, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, and here we are. Here in the Sagoli Desert. I had to go all the way from here. Let me go all the way down here. I stopped at the Forgotten Springs, went ahead and got the Aetheryte. But, yeah. It's really cool, but deserts aren't my thing. I hate sand. I hate sand so much. Greetings to you once more, Clive. I had a feeling this unique opportunity would be nigh impossible for you to ignore. Let us proceed directly to the ritual, shall we? According to the records we recovered, the summoners of old would perform these rites in a land in which the natural dominant element matched the aspect of the avatar they wished to call forth. Only in such a place might one sufficiently shift one's etheric balance in the desired direction. The element of fire is especially strong here in the Sagoli Desert. Can't imagine why. I can think of no land more fitting in which to summon an incantation of the Lord of the Inferno. Before we begin, I must insist that you accept this gem. It may appear of little worth, but within its faceted depths dwell the memories of long-deceased summoners. Now, you must focus. Visualize the ether flowing through you, a vibrant current of energy transforming into living fire. Hold this image in your mind, and the raging heat of your life force shall spawn an egg wreathed in flames. But beware, however, this is a nascent entity. That this nascent entity will appear before you unbound and hostile. Great. It is your charge to overpower the avatar and establish yourself as its master. The path of summoner is not, if not fraught with peril. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let go. Hello. Ah, you shouldn't be too hard. Oh, that was a big ability looking. Flame Shiver? What? Oh, okay. I was like, are you going to attack it or are you just going to look at it? Okay. Oh, I took that hit. Ah, I saw that coming. Gonna heal myself real quick. Just got hit again. Oh, he's down to 39%. We got this, guys. We got this. This Ifrit will bow before us. Yeah! I'm with you, Demetra. That was hot. Most impressive, Clive. The Fireborn Eggy has submitted to your will. You have mastered the Austeries of Flame, and that is no small feat. Pray let us return to Apkalu Falls, that we might further discuss your achievement. Righty, yep. So, all the way back to Blackshot. But yeah, that was cool. So, unfortunately, with this class, you only get access to technically summon 3 to Eggies. I wish they would do a thing, or kind of revamp the summoner, so that you could summon any primal that you encounter throughout the game. That would be amazing, in all honesty, because we encounter some pretty dope looking primals. They got some dope looking ones. But no. You might already know which one 3. I'm not gonna say which 3. Obviously we get Ifrit. But then we get some other types of summonings that aren't Eggies. But we'll get to that way later in the game. Yamitra, this is truly a monumentous occasion. You have rescued the lost art of summoning from the grasping mire of forgotten history. But you must know more than the avatar you have found. In ancient tongue of the Allegan Empire, it was known as Ifrit Eggy, where Eggy translate approximately to the pure or the essence of. In short, you obtained a willful manifestation of Ifrit's raging fires. As you might expect from an entity born of the Lord of the Inferno, this avatar and its capacity for destruction should serve you well in your battles to come. With such an ally at your command, it is not too soon to take upon yourself the title of Summoner. You have proven yourself more than worthy of the soul crystal you now possess. Yet, be that as it may, the road before you is long and arduous. If you would triumph in this age of conflict, you must needs master more than just the Eggy of Fire. I suggest you next fit your gaze upon claiming a servant of unyielding stone. This, of course, will necessitate you joining an expedition to defeat the primal known as Titan. This beloved divinity of the kobolds poses the greatest threat to Limsoluminism, and it is there that you shall find allies in your cause. The risks are great, too, but so too are the rewards. Topple the Lord of Crags, and we may progress to the next stage of our historic research. Fair fortune to you, Clive. Alrighty, and now we unlock the summoner! Yeah! Alrighty. Freet. Alright, I'm going to cut out the video right here real quick so I can set up both the Scholar and my Summoner's tabs how I like them. So be back in just a jiffy. Okie dokie, I got everything set up the way I'd like. So we're going to go over Summoner first because that was the class that really didn't change all that much. The traits, the exact same, those passive things. We still got Ruin 2, which I haven't used, but it's the moving one. Still got Miasma, Bio 2, Bane, the spreading, Fester, Energy Drain. Still got my Eggy Assaults, Addle, Physic, Resurrection. That pretty much the only thing that changed was I traded out the Tobas Carbuncle spot for my Summon 3 Ifrit. So, before I go over to Summoner, or a Scholar, let's go to see the very first Ifrit summon. Very anticlimactic, but look at him. That is mine to control now. Alright, and go over his abilities. Alright, so Eggy Assault 1 is Crimson Cyclone. Deals fire damage with a potency of 250. That is very powerful to a single target. His Eggy Assault 2, Flaming Crush. Deals fire damage to all nearby enemies with a 250% for the first enemy and 50% for remaining. So this is kind of his AoE attack. It's still it's just as powerful as a single attack, so you would use that even for a boss who's a one enemy. You would still use it because it's more powerful than my Ruin. So his Eggy Assaults, you need to use them. They're a lot more useful than Emerald Carbuncles, and actually more powerfully potent than Topaz Carbuncles, believe it or not. So yep. But yeah, that's pretty much the difference between Arcanist and Summoner. We'll get more abilities as we go on, but that's all the difference for now. And then you can make little tabs down there at the bottom of my bars and stuff to make it easier to switch between them. So by pressing this button, I go straight to Scholar, and the Eggies are going to disappear. Now, Scholar is a lot different than Arcanist. The things that are the same is Limit Break, I still have right there, and Resurrection. I still got Swift Cast and Lucid Dreaming. I don't have Addle. In place of it, I have Isuna, which I can use to take off negative effects from myself or teammates, which is very useful and very highly used, so always have it accessible. I put Physic up here because as a healer, it's going to be one of my main abilities. I need it up front, blah blah blah. I just have my Summon Eos, which is the fairy. You can choose between Eos or Selene. They are completely the same. I was just reading the thing for a minute. They're completely the same. Only difference is aesthetic wise. And for lore reasons and to fit the story a little bit better, I'll just use Eos for the time being. I use Selene more um, with my main Clive just because I like it a little bit better, but for this, I'll use that. Another thing is your main healing niche, I need to take that off, is Adaloquium. It cures for 300 potency, um, but it grants Galvanize, which is a shield on your target. But it only, like, if you're targeting an enemy and you cast it, it'll cast on yourself, so you don't have to press on yourself. Um, and the shield, yeah, is equal to 125% of the amount of healing I did. If I do a critical heal or a critical Adaloquium, it also grants Catalyze, which is an extra bonus shield. Which also is a 125% amount of HP restored. So you really want to try and get that catalyst. If you don't, it's not the end of the world, but it's just one of those like, oh hey, you managed to get a critical on a shielding, we're gonna reward you. So it's a really good thing. But it is saying down there at the bottom of the description, it cannot be stacked with Adrologian's Nocturnal Field, which means that if my co-healer is an Astrologian, and for some stupid reason they have their shielding sect on, we can't stack it. I don't know why, but they made it that way. I guess because it would be an OP shielding, but that's one of your main spells. I don't recommend spamming it because it is 1,000 mana per cast. It is very expensive. So that's why scholars are very tough for beginner healers because they try to spam Adaloquium. You don't need to spam Adaloquium. You have a fairy to help you heal. The fairy will heal on its own, just as the summoners Eggies and Carbuncles attack on their own. That's not the most powerful healing, but early game, it is so helpful to have that extra healer. And in game, when you've got like little damage here and there, you don't need to heal every little bit. Eos will take care of it. And if you'll see here, if you can kind of see it, there's these little cogs on my abilities right here. That's because I macroed them, so they do very specific things. These are the macros I use for all my classes on main Clive. So, unlike the Summoner and the Arcanist, Scholar only has one dot. It is Bio. It's an instacast. It's still an instacast, but I need to be able to place that on the enemy even though I'm targeting the tank. So this allows me to keep my main target up there as the tank, but if I press it, it's still going to apply a dot to whoever he's targeting, which 9 times out of 10 is the boss. Same deal with my Ruin and my Ruin 2, it allows me to keep my focus on the tank or whoever I'm healing and still attack whoever they're attacking, without having to switch back and forth between the enemy and person I need to heal. Enemy, person I need to heal. So it's just a little things like that. I do not recommend macroing heal spells. Do not macro heal spells. Because there's a delay with macros on when abilities go out. So it's okay, sort of, for your damaging abilities to not really start casting right when you hit the button. It's very minute for me. It's very minute. But for healing, you don't need that delay. It's really not. So that's the only difference between that. And then my fairy's abilities, Whispering Dawn, it, wherever the fairy is where it casts, an area around it grants Whispering Dawn to every party member, including me, with a hot, which is a heal over time. It's a cure potency of 120, and every second or 1.5 seconds or whatever, it'll heal me for 1.2 potency. So it's a heal over time. You can use this to kind of get out that little extra heals that you need, but this is an off global cooldown, so I can cast this between spells. The other one, which I won't have access to until level 40 stuff, is Fey Illumination. It increases the healing magic potency of all nearby party members by 10%, while reducing the magic damage taken by all nearby party members by 5%. So this is something you really want to use whenever like a boss is putting out a room-wide damage attack, what's what you call a room-wide AoE. It allows you and your co-healer to heal a little bit better because of the 10% increase, but also if it's a magic attack, everyone takes 5% less damage. And that is what this class is all about, mitigation, meaning like with White Mage, you're going to be reacting to the healing. Like, oh, you took some damage, let me heal you now. You can't do anything beforehand because they're at full health or whatever. Whereas with Scholars, you're going to plan ahead. Oh, I see you're about to take damage. Let me put a shield on you so you don't take as much damage, or if you're really lucky, take no damage. That's not always the case, it's very rare. So that's kind of the mindset with Scholars. You want to think ahead, which means you really need to know, how the boss is going to, or the enemies, or how they're going to damage. It is a little harder in the beginning of the game to pump out those massive amounts of heals, because you're not really a power healer in so much regards before level 50 or whatever. That doesn't mean you don't do good healing. It's just you can't be like a White Mage in game that can like burst out like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of heals that will make your whole team go from near zero to full. You can do pretty decent heals with Scholar, and as you'll see as I play, but the whole idea of Scholar is think ahead. Think ahead. Mitigate damage, make them take less damage. Whatever does get taken, you and Eos can heal together. So, that's just a thought. But let's go ahead and summon her. Now, summoning your fairies does have a cast time. It's not instantaneous like the Scholar or the Summoner and the Astrologian with their carbuncles. It does take a second to get your fairy out, which I found really weird with that change. And it actually does cost mana, 200. It's not really a problem when you first get, like, if you die and your co-healer raises you, it's really not that big of a problem. It's only 200. It becomes a problem in-game when you're trying to get out a lot of heals really quickly, but you also need to get your fairy out. So just be mindful of that if you're playing Scholar. But while we're doing solo stuff, we're going to be going back to Summoner. Be playing with the Summoner class. Alright, so I can't... Wait, what? Okay, so yeah. I can't do the next Summoner mission until we beat Titan. Little slight more spoiler, yeah, we gotta defeat Titan. That's one of the other Eggies. We could go get the Scholar, but we're already ahead because we're level 30, a level 30 job. When we're doing level 27, 26, 27 story mission. So, yeah. But now we're going to go back and start the story mission again. Sorry, we'll continue. And if you don't remember where we were, we went back to Minfilia after little Alamigo, and told her everything, and now she has a new not source, what's the word? Lead. There we go. Got a new lead. Oh, Um, and so we talked to that um Fluxio or whatever, the flying vegetable, and she told us about this guy who ran into a masked band. So let's go see what she's got for us. Um, trying to think what else about the class. I'm just excited. I'm just so excited we finally got to unlock the Scholar and Summoner. Like, oh, I'm so happy. My damage output, my healing output is gonna go soaring. Gonna go soaring so high. Alrighty, and here we are, Fog Gourd Float. Let me go grab the Aetheryte real quick before we go talk to this dude. And slight spoiler warning. I know I do that a lot, but just in case you don't want to hear, we as a summoner do still get the ability to summon carbuncles in places of the Eggies. As far as I'm aware, they do the exact same thing, exact same potency. It's just a glamour. I'll have to figure out how to do that because I'm gonna let you see all the um Eggies when we get them. But I do kind of want to play with Carbuncle if we're playing with Summoner because I think they're so cute. I think they're so cute. I don't use them for main Clive, but I will use them for this Clive. But please leave me be. I am not long for this world. I look death in the face. 'Tis only a matter of time before he comes for me, just like he came for that poor woman. Medrod is clearly traumatized. Perhaps if you were to soothe him, he might remain calm for long enough to hold a conversation. Let's slap him. No. It is soothing. Soothe, 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 soothe. There you are. Gonna add to hotbar. We're gonna put you there. Everyone's here. Okay. You're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true, but that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. Hold on one second. Okay, I got a little paranoid that I wasn't recording, and I went through that whole explanation without actually recording, and I was like, oh my god. It wasn't just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance, a masked man garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman, one glimpse was enough to tell me that she died a gruesome death. In that instant, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Thal, come to claim her soul for his realm. What? You're investigating the same masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to assure that we won't have to suffer Madrod's hysteria ever again. Alright, teamwork! Why did he say that? That's what I wanted to— Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I can do for repaying him for comforting me. Or, you could pay me. Alrighty. Aideen has a proposal to make concerning your investigation. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. That's gruesome. Among the local fauna, only the scale skin known as Zids could inflict such wounds. That's why some folk are pointing fingers at them. I somehow doubt that the answer is that simple, but if for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of these creatures and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths. Sounds fair. Unlocking the chocobo. Alrighty, let's show off your moves, my eggy dude. Holy crap on a sticker. Okay, I'm actually very curious as to how powerful his auto attacks are. Ignore everything else, ignore everything else. Burning Strike, potency of 80. Potency of 20, potency for, yeah, that's an 80 potency. That's actually kind of powerful for a pet. And we'll go down here. Why not? Alright, so Physic is still a little useful. Not so much later on, because we still share um gear between the Scholar and the Summoner. They still share gear for the time being. I think it's, I want to say level 50, but it might be before that it actually diverges off. Like Summoner has his own armor and Scholar has his own armor. So that's where it's going to be a little difficult for me to keep up my gear. But that, hey, that adds to the challenge, right? I will try to keep my best gear choices to the Scholar. Like if I had to choose between blah blah blah, the better one, I will always go Scholar because that's the group content. But we'll see how it goes. I've already seen to this is. Good work, adventurer. So, were you able to find aught to suggest the creatures are our culprits? No. Nothing. Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what if it looked like. Anyway, I believe we could safely strike Ziz from our list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. I literally think she just made us go and kill that stuff for her. Aiden has further knowledge of the mysterious deaths. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I'd better watch myself, huh? No, you really shouldn't. Unseemly japes aside, there's a rumor been going around. There's some as a whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went to the great big rock southwest of the pier, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating. I reckon I'm going to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crack. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments and I'll give you a gander. Yeah, how you use stuff. Like you can like interact with something, use something, whether it's ability or an item, and you can use your mouse or the camera for controllers to decide where it is placed or goes or whatever. Everall has information to share regarding your investigation. There's something you should know. I have been keeping this to myself lest I worsen Medra's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it is a coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Medra's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. So yeah, this is one of the, there are a couple times like this where there are like two main missions. You have to complete all of them to continue, so you might as well grab them both. I'm gonna go this way. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to take you to the exact same places, so it just makes sense to go ahead and grab them all, rather than go back and forth, and take longer. If you want to kind of get that like feel of like, oh, actual immersion, which isn't a bad thing, don't get me wrong. I wish I had the patience for that. I have awful patience with myself. Other people I'm usually pretty good. Usually. But with myself, very little patience. Oh, it had to be a freaking... Oh! Oh, we're so powerful now. Oh, we're so powerful. It makes me so excited. Alrighty, and this little glow is telling you what you can use an area of. Go there. And just like that. See if they can figure it out. Because they're obviously doing the same exact mission I am. Figure it out. There we go. It's so nice to see new players joining. Yeah, it can be kind of tough to play with them, but I'd rather more people play and we just have to teach more rather than um, very few people play and we get basically nothing done because everyone's so annoyed whether we know how each other plays, blah 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 blah. But I'm always happy for new players, honestly. As long as they're willing to learn, they've got a nice attitude. I love them. In a strictly platonic way, unless they make their male character, you know, super uber. But there's actually a way you can actually marry in the game. It's called the Eternal Bonding Ceremony, and you you have to pay actual money to do it. I've only been to one, and that was only a couple weeks ago, and it's really nice. I don't know how it works, but it was really nice. Most folk are too scared to go within 100 yalms of Rock of Rancor. Aye, it has a name, but what's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, huh? Huh? Why, these are just your garden variety crystals. It's a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire sand stick. Oh well. Oh well, don't you oh well me. A monstrous bane mine appeared and you slew it? Yeah, trust me, the eyes creeped me out, like, blah. The creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Falgord. Intentional or no, you have done us a great service, you have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or merely a trick of light combined with blind panic? Probably blind panic, but we'll see. That's all the time I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I really did. I loved talking about the abilities and the scholar and the summoner, and like it was just like like it was like my name day. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see y'all next time.